right. Anyways, Flesh and Blood Commoner Vodcast, the fabtcg Vodcast, episode 21.
Yes, the podcast where we literally put our flesh and blood into it.
I guess, sure.
Yeah.
Oftentimes building weird decks, or, well, not really weird decks, but building decks,
Yeah.
which is definitely what we'll be doing this time, too.
Yep, weird deck.
Yeah, very weird deck. It's very weird to build Bravo, you know? Definitely. But that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be building Commoner Bravo because we still don't have one. The only Guardian we have is Oldhim, so...
Yes, we.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Oldhim's your favorite, right? You really enjoy Oldhim.
I enjoy stomping him whenever possible.
Well, to be fair, I think we've only played him that once. I think that was the only game.
That's true.
But, and you know, he's only gotten better now that he has a lantern added to him. But, we have not built Bravo, the original Guardian, yet. Or built any Guardians for that note on the podcast. So,
Well, I think there's only 2 in Commoner, aren't there?
yes, because we're not allowed to have fun things. So we
Yes.
don't get the Majestics. Unless there's a new one that comes out in Dynasty. That's the name of it.
True.
My brain just kept thinking Uprising because it looks exactly the same in the marketing material.
I mean, there was that one spear guy, right?
There was. I don't know if they've ever revealed what rarity he is.
True. Was he a guardian even?
I don't know. I feel like he was a warrior.
Or he
But
might
maybe
have been
not. Am I thinking the Emperor, maybe? Maybe he was a Guardian.
I mean, it would make sense, wouldn't it?
Kind of. I mean, warrior, there's some argument, too.
True.
So he's going to be a wizard.
I use my spear to cast spells.
But, usual...
Spear of the Arcane.
Usual Bravo or deck building things. We have a couple of deck lists that occurred over the last year that we're going to look at. Some older than others. And yeah, none of them are commoner, but you know, give us at least a good starting point. One thing I already know from like a lot of Guardians and how I built Oldhim is that not a lot of yellow, a little bit of red, and then a lot of blue.
Okay.
And
So what you're saying is we don't need a deep blue.
The what?
We don't need a deep blue.
Yeah, no. Deep blue's bad. Terrible card. No, nobody needs that card ever.
Which is funny because I think isn't Bravo in the artwork for that card?
It might be. I don't know if it's Bravo, but it's something. It's something similar. Yeah, it's not quite Bravo,
Okay.
but
Yeah, it
similar. Similar vibes.
Maybe, you know, this is the in between Bravo and Bravo Star of the Show.
Oh, okay. This is This is before his complete glow up.
Yep.
May be a chess piece we'll use. Although there are some other good ones too. Once you get into Guardian, there's a lot of arguments to be made. But looking at Guardian, it does. This is what I was gonna say. Is a lot of my experience seeing Guardian is that the red cards tend to be pump spells.
Okay.
So, yeah, so at this... Okay, this one actually gives you resource, but
it is a
it's
rare.
But it's kind of a similar idea to some of the stuff I had seen previously. Although it is looking a little bit different now. I mean, they have the pummel here. What's Sigil of Soulless?
It sounds
Zealous
familiar.
Belting Red. Interesting. Oh, really? Just the life gain thing.
Okay.
Interesting. That's majestic, so I don't think we'll be having that one.
I guess you gain life to stall for time? Question mark?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, they often are control decks, so... is this like the kind of stuff that I was thinking when I first saw it? Yeah, there was a lot of stuff like this when I was looking, where it's like, you play it one turn, and then the next turn it sacks itself and does this huge like damage boost.
Right, okay.
So I used that a lot in Oldhim originally. I think we're going to be fairly on our own for the deck list from what I'm seeing here. A lot of this stuff is like
All rare.
yes. The
Oh,
blues are probably where we're gonna start finding cards that Crippling Crushes.
well, we know
That
Pummel.
yep. Yeah, Pummel. So
Yeah.
I am seeing a lot of red Pummels. Which actually makes a lot of sense. It's obviously a good pump spell for Guardians since it just on hit effect discard a card to your huge attacks and boost them a ton. And it's only 2. And it pumps clubs and hammers, so you can always use it for the weapon too. So basically the big gist here is we're looking for lots of blue, little bit of red, and then yellow is probably all utility kind of stuff. Although maybe this is just disable. They want in 2 different colors. Disable is one of the cards. Oh no, it's not one of the cards we get. Never mind. I thought it was. I lied. All right. Well, looking at the comments, is this the oldest one? This is the oldest one. So what's the newest one? Where's the what was it? August, I think. Is that this one? Okay, so this is from 2 months ago. So I don't even know what Righteous Cleansing is. It was majestic. That's why I don't know.
Okay.
I remember that artwork now, though.
I was looking at the symbol. I don't remember ever seeing a majestic symbol like that. Is that
I
old?
think it's the history pack ones on the white border.
Okay.
That's why it looks odd.
Right. I never liked the white borders.
Yeah. So Crippling Crush we don't get. Crush Confidence we might. Bolden we don't. Enlightened we don't. Pulverize we might. Pummel we do. I don't even know what Sift is. And Spinal Crush we don't.
What's Remembrance? We don't get that.
We don't get that. Oh, we don't get Remembrance. Okay, Crush Confidence. They lose all hero card effects and activate abilities. Interesting. That may be a meta call. Okay, Pulverize we don't get.
Nope.
Not at all. We also don't get Sift. Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of filling in the gaps, I think. So Crush Confidence, they only have in
building it from
scratch?
bottom up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So...
And we're going to slap on some stickers that they had already.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, looks mostly like a lot of this stuff is rares or better and stuff like that. There's Macho Grande here, which we do get.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a feel for just how many pump spells, most of them. Oh, Unmovable we get. It's the super expensive defense reaction, I believe. Oh, of course we don't get Showtime. Don't get Rouse the Agents. Don't get Imposing Visage. We do get Thump. Okay, so if you pump it, then you have to find a way to pump it.
How much did that cost? 4? God, I'm not used to.
Yeah, so about Guardians,
Yeah.
their stuff is very expensive, which is why there's so many blues. So that one requires a pump. Now, Bravo doesn't pump anything, right? Yeah, no, it's just you can pay 2, and then anything that costs 3 or more until the end of turn gains Dominate. So, there's some good things you could do with that.
Okay.
That red Zealous Belting is just so interesting. I don't hate it, though. 2 of them are doing it. Oh, wait. Does not get Dominate from Bravo, though. But does have Go Again a lot. I guess if you combine this with, like, a 4 cost, and then you pitch 2 blues, you could do both of these in one turn. There's not a lot of pump spells here, though, which is weird for running things like what was it, Thump? Yeah, that if you pump it, it gains Dominate and discard a card.
Right.
How many? So
Well,
how many of these are like pump spells that?
Maybe it's their equipment.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. You could do that, but then again, that's still only like a 1 use. Is Thunderquake a pump spell? No, it is not a pump spell.
So it's just one of those big turns where you
Yeah, you just wait until that moment that you have like a pummel to combine with it.
Yep, you
I
crack
think
your...
this isn't a pump spell, right? No, this just gives you resources. So pummel's like the only pump spell I'm seeing here. Oh, and embolden. Last ditch effort, I think, is an attack.
Be great if they actually had some stats.
Yeah. Okay, so embolden's a pump spell. Last ditch effort is not a pump spell. Oh, and that tutors out the auras. Okay. But still, that's 4 pump spells?
They don't have like a link to the deck, do they?
No.
Okay. Because that would be too smart.
Yeah. Wait, does like Crater Fist just let you keep doing it? No, you have to break it. It gives multiple attacks +2 if you can do a million things in one turn. Seems unlikely, but
Yep.
yeah, I guess maybe that's what it is. You turtle for a long time, and then you just set up this one ridiculous, crazy turn in which you just go absolutely wild. I don't think we're going to be able to do that quite as much because we don't have like Blessing of Deliverance to give us a bunch of free stuff. Or is that health instead of resources, actually? Oh, that's health. It gives you health. Okay.
Which, I mean, there are a couple health gain spells that
There
we
are.
do have access
There's Oasis Respite is one.
That's the
That's
new
the
one,
new
right?
one. I don't know what we have more than that.
There was something in Everfest, I'm pretty sure. Although
Maybe
that
yeah.
might have been Earth.
Oh yes, it was Earth. That wasn't Everfest though. That was the other one. All right. So I guess what we're doing here is let me just real quick 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. The 26 blue there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, 14, 16. Yeah, this is like 28, 27, 28, something like that. Okay. So I'm going to just say these look all very similar. So we're probably shooting for somewhere between maybe 24 to 28 blue. Maybe even like the right thing to aim for is like 30 blue, 10 red, and then you just cut out some of the blue with yellow, perhaps.
Okay.
Something like that. Because that seems to be roughly the percentage here. This is 2, 4, 6, yeah, 10 red. This is a little more than 10 red. That's 10 red. That's 12 red. So somewhere in that 10, 12 red. And it does seem like a lot of these reds are finishers or like the pummels for pump spells. So, if we're going to be looking at, I guess we'll do Guardian, we'll do Common, and then not Talented, so we don't get the Earth Elemental stuff. We have 2 pages to work with. Okay. So I already know one of the finishers I talked about before this, because this is basically what I did with Old Him, was that I had the one red 10 dominate attack, which costs 6. This is a little bit worse than that, but you don't need to fuse it in order to gain dominate. So I feel like we could have 2 of these as a finisher. And probably the blue, too.
So you have to pitch 3 cards to play it?
Well, 2 in a piece of equipment.
Sure.
Or similarly. But I noticed Blue Macho Grande here. Blue Macho Grande. Blue Macho Grande. And this might have been before Macho Grande. Because this is the really old one. So... seems to be that this is one of those cards that make the cut into the full decks.
Blue is a 7 on hit?
Yes.
Right?
So basically this is just like your kill shot card. Oh, 8. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
do that.
I did my math wrong.
How many pummels do you think? That's the other question.
You mean like should we use more than just the red?
Yeah, because I mean we're gonna definitely use the red, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone else is doing it, and it seems like a real no-brainer. I feel like if we use more, we probably add the yellow first.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seems reasonable. Pair this with like Macho Grande. You pitch 3 cards. You play Macho Grande from your arsenal, and then you red pummel it, and you swing for 14 with Dominate and discard a card on hit. Boom. Kill shot.
Okay. The math adds up. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and it is exactly 9. It is exactly 9 you're spending on that. I guess we could wait. We could wait on putting the pummel in. Do we just throw in all the blue attacks and then see where we're at? I don't know how many there are. This is pretty useless. This one. I mean, it's not bad per se. It does a lot of damage for a blue card. But putting a -1 counter on target equipment is not super
Right. That
useful
doesn't
and relevant.
destroy it, right? That
No,
just,
none of the equipment in Commoner is destroyed by that. I think
True.
there are some in other formats that are. And then second too, there's nothing that has more than Battle Worn 1. And so if you swing with this, they just block with whatever that is. And then one's going to get the counter anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You move it to -1, I guess. I don't think that destroys it though. But I mean, just to humor myself, I'm put all the blues in and see where we're at. Oh, that seems pretty good. We love that effect, don't we?
Yep.
Make things cost 1 more. The Frostbite Classic. That also seems pretty good. And a high damage. What is he choke slamming? Is that a dinosaur? What is that?
I don't know.
Is that like a lizard worm? Because I think it has an open mouth there. I don't know. Oh, and then Crush Confidence we saw. That does seem kind of good. It is... It only costs 3. That's another nice thing. Do we want a red one? Someone was doing red, right?
I think so.
Yeah, this one did red. That's the red heavy one has that. Oh, I forgot that Zell's Belting is in 2 of them. Are these like the old ones? These are on the older side. Okay. I mean, a 7 power attack that only costs 3 is not awful.
Mm-hmm.
And making heroes lose ability is pretty good. Oh, that would really suck for the wizard.
Or
Oh, man.
Levia. Or...
Oh, yep. Olivia dies to the blood debt.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think it would affect Chain much. Maybe.
Well, you can't soul shackle that turn.
True.
Alright, I'm going to put the 2 in for now. Crush the weak. Okay, I get it. Alright. That seems very good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially against Shane. That seems very rude. So we'll throw those in. Debilitate. That also seems perfectly fine. Was Crush the Weak a 3 cost? Oh, it was. Yeah, there's a lot of 4 costs. So that's where like the pummels are not as bad because they make up the difference.
Right.
And like, so the pump spells we want them to be 2 costs. Which that is one of them, and that is also one of them. We already put Macho Grande in. Seismic Stir. That makes things cheaper. Don't know if we necessarily care. We might. This prevents damage, but costs. Stonewall Confidence. Makes your stuff block more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody was really using that.
No. Well,
I know I tend to not be on the defensive end.
I think
but...
it's a newer card, so only one.
No, I think that one's ancient.
Is it?
I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must be thinking of a different card. Thump.
Oh, that was the one where you pump it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, why not? Because it can give itself dominate, which seems good. Do we want the red Zealous Belting? Oh, that's why they have Zealous Belting. I literally explained the reason. Because it costs 2.
Oh.
That's why they have Zealous Belting. You do belting and then whatever 4-cost card.
Okay.
Okay. I could be convinced. Do you think we put the red in?
Sure.
Alright. So, right now we have 16 blue, so we still need like 8 or more blue.
So we could do some generics.
We can do some generics, or we didn't do any pump spells.
True.
So, do we want this unmovable? A number of people had unmovable. I am not so sold on it, but because you're losing 2 cards on their turn to block 5.
Right.
But I don't know if I'm just a hater. Do they all have it? Unmovable, no unmovable, unmovable, unmovable. So
I mean,
the old decks
I
and
guess
the one from earlier this year.
It depends on the direction we want to take this deck in. Do we want to, like, turtle up and then wait for a big move, or are we just...
I guess I did make the argument that we can't really turtle up and wait for a big move because we don't have the crazy combo pieces that everyone else does. So maybe we hold off on that for now. I don't know if I like that even better than unmovable. All right, so I don't even know what page I'm on at this point. Oh, put Slogisms in.
Of course.
It's actually not super awful, but probably Pummel would make more sense if we were going to go that route. Just throw more Pummels in.
You don't want your regurgitating slog?
No, we could always do Rally the Rearguard. Yeah, regurgitating slog. Well, Dominate's not as important in this one. Like, it kind of is from the Pummel perspective, but Pummel just needs you to hit. Like, not... What's more important is giving these things, like, Dominate so that it's easier, because, like, Crush has to deal 4 damage or more. So you have to, like, super pump these. So, nothing here is really... And I don't know that we care about Lead the Charge. I don't know how realistic it is to think that we'll be doing multiple things in one turn.
Yeah.
It seems kind of unlikely right now. I think that's kind of how I felt with Oldhim, too, is that it's like, it's not about doing multiple things a turn, it's about doing something big each turn. And nothing's really speaking to me in the generics, aside from, like, Pummel. So we do have these pump spells. So Emerging Power just gives +3. Emerging Dominance gives Dominate. So this is probably one of the ones we want to do. Because it's a way to... So basically how it works, you just play it, and then at the beginning of the next turn, you destroy it and it pumps your next attack.
Okay.
So you have to take like a turn off, but this gives +3 and Dominate, whereas like Come to Fight will not. And also too with like Guardian, it almost makes more sense, because you just turtle one turn and deploy this, and then next turn you save everything and go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So... I'm thinking we do the red and the blue on this.
Okay.
And then that way we have one extra blue card. And the blue one only gives +1, but it still gives Dominate. And I think that's the more important part. Emerging Power I'm less sold on. Because... I mean, do we care enough? Are we willing to pay 1 extra to have this effect happen the next turn, than to pay 1 less and have it happen right now with Come to Fight? So
well, that does happen. It doesn't wait a turn.
For what?
This doesn't wait a turn.
Oh, wait. No, it does, because at the beginning of your next action phase. So you have to wait until your next action phase before it'll do that.
Okay.
And then the other problem is you don't get to choose. So if you play this and then they empty your entire hand and you go to your next turn, it just kills itself. That's the only other downside too.
It does have Gogen though.
It does. I feel like we can skip that one. I think we probably just do like maybe more pummels, and then we call it for the pump spells maybe. How much does this? So this is 3. So how often will that matter? So if somebody puts like a block 3 in front of this, then it's only doing 2, but the pump spell will be enough. So everything's like 5 to 6 power or more. 4. That one is 4. That one doesn't matter because that doesn't need to hit by a certain amount. Because all these crush ones have to do at least 4 to do their like huge negatives. Yeah, Thump's the only one that doesn't care about that. Pouring out. But so if we do the yellow pummels, now we have 2, 4, 6, 8 pump spells.
Okay.
Plus gloves, because we're almost certainly using Goliath gauntlets. So that's 9. 9 pump spells seems not too bad. But then...
Do we want any of the life gain?
That is a good question. What was the life gain? It's not this, right? This prevents damage.
There was the Oasis Respite. I don't remember what the other one was.
Prevent the next 4 damage.
And that's not life gain. Oh, I guess it is.
Yeah, it gains 1 at the end. Prevent the next 4 damage that would be dealt to target hero, and then if they have less health than each other hero, they gain 1. So it gains you 1 if you're behind. Maybe we are supposed to put something like unmovable in here. I don't remember it being this hard to fill out, but we're like 18 blue, 10 red, 2 yellow.
We're halfway there.
So we need 10 more cards, and most of them should be blue, and we already used every blue attack, every blue guardian attack. So, yeah, we may have to... I think I'm starting to see where we may be going to going to the generics for.
Mm-hmm.
Seismic Stir and Surges just make it cost 1 less, right? Okay. So if you play this, you just make something cost less next turn. Is that worth it?
Well, I guess that's another thing where will we be doing multiple things a turn?
Not a ton, but does this make it so we can do 1 thing a turn? Let's see. So we have 8 cards. Okay, maybe it's worth it. So we have 12 cards that are 1 more than easy to cast.
True.
Okay. The 7 cost, if you reduce it by 1, is now costing 2 cards
right,
instead of 3.
You don't have to pitch 2 cards.
And the 4 costs now only require 1 card.
Okay.
So maybe it's worth it. And I mean, it's a blue, so
yeah,
we need more blues.
Let's do it.
I don't know that we necessarily need more attacks, ironically. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We have 22 attacks. So we actually have a pretty decent amount of attacks.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should be against putting more in, but I also think we don't have to go out of our way to find more attacks.
Would we want the yellow Seismic Stir?
I mean, it's not awful. How does this work? Your next Guardian attack action card. So it only reduces Guardian attack actions.
Okay.
Okay. I was thinking if it could reduce like the 2 cost stuff, that might be worth it, but it's not gonna be able to.
So maybe not, since we're gonna be adding in so many generic. Oh well. All the attacks are Guardian.
They are, unless we do add more of the other
The
ones.
generics.
Do you want Stonewall Confidence? In a weird way, it actually doesn't look that bad now. It's so funny. The old him has so many options because you have the elemental attacks, so it was pretty easy to fill that one out. But this one, not so much. Oh, it's just glitch out. Okay. I don't know. Do we put the unmovable in? If we're struggling for blue cards, does that mean it is immovables time? That's when you can pay to pump the defense. The fight. So just attacks.
Dodge!
Yeah. It would feel bad to put like Fate for Scene or something in there that's only blocking 2. So maybe unmovable is worth including. Oh, Healing Balm. Oh, that is your entire turn though. That's why Healing Balm is not great.
Okay.
In a weird way, that's not awful. It really is not awful.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do have a lot of on-hit effects. But maybe it is just better to do something like Slogism? I'm actually starting to come back around on the Slogism. Now that we need blues. So, blue Slogism, it pumps a lot. Rarely Regret's not awful either. Star, what does Sigil Protection do? Spend 2 of that damage and destroy it. Not great. Not doing a lot there. No, not Sink Below. I mean, it's +4. That's actually pretty relevant. A lot of them need to do 4 damage, so plussing 4 means they have to block more than what was on the card.
Right.
I'm gonna put those. The big downside here is that it costs 3. That's rough. Because if you try to do this on a Macho Grande, that's it's expensive. But if you use the Seismic Stir and then the Slogism, then you just need to pay 9.
Maybe we should put in the yellow.
Yeah, but that only reduces the attack, so I think you can make the Slogism work with. I'm using the worst example, Macho Grande, but like the 4 costs and the 3 costs, that's with the 3 costs, that's just 6. So pitch 2 blues and then Slogism in the attack, which is actually. Oh wait, I put the Slogisms in, so they're inflating that number. But the 4 costs, 7's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like a better pump spell than some of the other ones that are available, especially since we want blues. So like come to fight +1 is not great. Needs 6 more cards. I'm starting to feel like the unmovable is something we put in. I mean, you can block 6. It's a defense reaction, so you can use it after they pump their weapon.
Mm-hmm. Fine.
All right. Next sword attack. That will do a lot in our deck. Actually, Warmonger is not awful because of putting stuff back in the deck, but I also don't know that it's good. That's potentially a lot of damage. Can Yanti do? In a weird way, it's not awful if we have so many auras, but do I want more Zealous Beltings? I mean, it doesn't seem awful to do the blue one.
A 3 attack for 2 that only blocks for 2.
But it has go again. Because anything we pitch to pay for this, we'll give it go again. Well, okay, anything that's an attack that we pitch, we'll give that go again.
Theoretical question. Which attacks would you want to use to pitch to this?
Any of them. I mean, you're that's why you have so many blues, is you just pick whichever attack is best for the turn and you pitch the rest. So that's what Old Him does too.
Right, but I'm just thinking, like, when is it better to pitch the bigger hit for the lower hit?
Well, because this one costs half of what the bigger hit is. So, like, why would you pitch the higher one for this? Is because you're pitching 2 blue cards to go Zealous Belting and then your best 4 cost. That's why. Because, like, otherwise you can't really do 2 of your best for 3 costs.
I guess.
Because they don't have go again. And the only reason that I like this is that it has that 2 cost, which means it fits with the other things. You can always, see if that's even physically possible. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So, you pitch a blue card, you play your Zealous Belting, you pitch 2 more blue cards, and then you play your Macho Grande from your arsenal. Swing for like 13.
They'll never see it coming.
All right, we'll put that in. Now we need 2 more cards. Do we want some sort of yellow card then?
What yellows do we have? We have...
Or we could put blue Pummel in.
We've just
I realize we haven't put Pummel in. So, my thoughts here, we probably don't want a yellow attack.
Right.
So then we could do blue Pummel. We could do yellow Seismic Stir. I suppose we could do yellow Emerging Dominance. I'm less sold on that one, though. Yellow Slogism. I am leaning towards blue Pummel or yellow Seismic Stir. Because you can do like the double Seismic Surges, or you can do this +2 and discard a card, which is super mean and rude, but that's kind of what Guardian does, I guess.
Yeah, I guess Pummel.
Okay, so we'll fill out the full playset of Pummels, and that gives us our 40-card deck of 28 blue, 2 yellow, and 10 red. Look at that cost graph. Nothing's below 2. There's not a single card that costs 0 or 1. 4 7 costs, 8 4 costs, 12. Wow. The deck is clearly perfect from a mathematical standpoint. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Literally, somehow that worked. 6, because that's not actually 15, it's 16. It's glitched.
Sure.
No, it is, because that wouldn't add up right. And we don't have any one-ofs. So, it's 16, 12, 8, 4. So. Alright, well then, we're done. No equipment necessary. Ship it. Weapons. So, we do have Titan Fist. Do we have the shield? We do have the shield. That is generic Guardian stuff. Okay. So, Titan Fist goes in, for sure.
Okay.
Because we can combine that with the shield or the lantern. So,
because it's one-handed.
Yes. And then we just have to decide if we want a Nothos or Sledge. On reflection, I'm not really seeing when and why you would ever do Sledge. I mean, we don't even need the Anothos
It's when
for
you
sure.
It's when you use that Seismic Stir and you've got that extra resource
Does
left
Seismic
over,
Surge
you know?
work for that? It might actually. It doesn't tell us what Seismic Surge does here. Does Seismic Surge do attack action cards or attack actions? Oh, action cards.
Too bad.
All right. So here's why. And I mean, we don't necessarily need to note this because the idea here is that you're probably the control deck into most matchups. You're probably doing Titan's Fist and then whichever offhand is most relevant. But this would, like, you would go one of these if, like, you ever need to be the beatdown, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This does 4 with a potential to do 6. This does 6 flat. The only thing I see here is that if that has 2 or more cards in your pitch zone, will cost 3 or greater, it gains +2. This is just cost 4.
Right.
Which means it only costs 1 more. But if you're ever paying 4, haven't you just done what Anothis did? Oh. There's 16... Okay, so there's 16 cards that cost 2. Maybe Sledge is better? Just more consistent, and like maybe you care less about whether it costs 3? Or actually, do you care about cost 3? Is kind of the point of the weapon to be like you just pitch 1 card and swing with it when your hand gets completely emptied? These all cost 3 to attack, aside from Sledge. Like, is that actually a huge disadvantage for Sledge that you can't keep 1 card and play it or attack with it?
Well, because you're typically only going to be doing 1 attack a turn, right?
Yeah, so
Unless
you're probably not following anything up with Sledge or Anothis.
Unless you do something first, like Zealous
Zealous
Belting.
Belting, yeah. I think there's going to be one other way we can do multiple things a turn, but it is extremely unlikely. But I think it's just because boot options are pretty bad.
Do any of the auras have go again, or are they just single turn?
Well, I mean, they have go again. Like, you play Emerging Dominance, I think. Actually, no, it doesn't have go again. I lied. I don't know. I feel like maybe Anothis is the right choice, just because then you can have your, like, for turn, you just block with a bunch of cards, and then you just keep 1 card and then Anothis them, and eventually they may die.
Do any of our pump spells target weapon attacks?
Yes.
Or Guardian?
Pummel does.
Okay.
And it works on all of these. I think it's Hammer. It's Club and Hammer, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm inclined to say Anothis. Because I think it's going to be fairly easy to make it do the same amount of damage as Sledge. And it has that backup of you can just keep a card for turn and hit someone with it.
Right.
Which is the same with Titan's Fist. Titan's Fist can do the same thing. Because it costs 3.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So we'll do that. Okay, so then Ronald Buckler, Arcane Lantern. So that one's just Blade Break 1.
Okay.
Oh, and then the helm. We always put the helm in. This is just a given. You build a Guardian, you play Helm of Isen's Peak. It's like the most busted commoner helmet in the game. It's Battle Worn 1, and it gives you +1 intellect till end of turn.
Okay.
Forgot. So it's even easier to do those crazy turns I was talking about because you could have 6 cards rather than 5. Yeah, so that's the helmet that makes the most sense. Chess piece. So Goliath Gauntlet is just the glove option. That's another easy one. Because I don't think we're doing Cracker Jacks or Stubby Hammers does nothing. So chess piece. Chess piece is where we have questions. So we can do Deep Blue, which now that I'm thinking about this, the more anti-Deep Blue I am. But there are points in this will be useful. In theory, we have 28 cards that pitch for that. So putting them on the bottom of your deck to gain 3 will do nothing.
Right.
But we do have 12 cards that don't, in which this would do something. So that's 1 in every 3? 1 in every 4? Pretty much 1 in every 4.
But will we be playing those cards instead of pitching
That is
them?
true. Whereas the other option we have is Hardened Cross Traps, which just makes our next attack action card cost 2 less. I don't think we're doing the Ninja chess piece, where if you hit, you get 2. Because
Right.
if you've hit, your turn is over. Usually.
Pretty much.
Usually. So maybe this is just one of a million Hardened Cross Traps decks.
Makes sense to me.
All right. We'll go with that then.
Now, the real question is, do you want Helios Mitre?
No. No, I very much do not. Okay, so let's see. Equipment right now, we have 7. So we have 4 slots left.
Okay.
For the boots we need, and then that leaves us 3 for sideboard. We currently have a shield that blocks and has arcane barrier. So we have 1 source of arcane barrier currently. We do have a helmet that also blocks. The question is, do we want a utility boot or do we want just defensive boots? Knowing full well that the only utility boot we can use, we could use Mage Master's boots. I'm not really counting that, but in theory you could Mage Master's boots, so you could Emerging Dominance and do something else this turn by paying 1 extra. Or we can do Time Skippers, which is extraordinarily unlikely to be used.
I feel like if we were going to do something, we would do Lead the Charge instead of Time Skippers.
Well, but this is equipment, so it doesn't take a slot in the deck.
True, but I mean...
So here's where it could work, is you have 2 3-cost attacks, 2 and 3 blue cards. You can pitch a blue card for Time Skipper, and then pitch 2 blue cards for the 3-cost attacks, and you get to do, like, double Crush Confidence. Or what was the other ones? Cartilage Crush, Crush the Weak. I think that's it. So that's what you would do Time Skippers for. It's just you find the 1 turn in which you have enough blue cards to pay for it all. And then you have the 3 costs. Or we could just do a defensive boot. That's the question.
It is, in fact, a question. What?
I forget. No, I was just... So the boot... Obviously, the boot is the easiest piece for you to sideboard.
Yeah.
So you do, like, the Null Rune boots. And then it just occurred to me, and I did the same thing with Old Him, is that I was like, oh my, we found the one place to use Iron Rod. Because the helmet blocks 1, the shield blocks 1, and if you do Iron Rod, that's block 3 on 3 pieces of equipment. And I did the same thing with Old Him, only to remember that I'm talking about the boot slot, and Runaways does the same exact thing but blocks more, because it can block non-specified damage as well. So do we want the Time Skippers, or do we want to just do defensive options? And then we have 4 sideboard slots for defense. Do like Null Rune Boots, Runaways, and then we have 2 slots left for whatever other piece we want to replace.
Maybe more defensive.
Okay. So we'll do Null Rune gloves. No, not gloves. That's boots. That's the word we were looking for. And then the next question. So Null Rune boots, Runaways, and that leaves us 2 slots left. I don't think we replace the helmet.
Okay.
Because it's just what it does is really, really good. Because increasing intellect lets you set up that 1 crazy turn. And is you gain intellect until the end of turn. So what it means is at the end of the turn, you draw up that one extra card, and then it goes back to normal intellect. So you basically can do a turn where you like play. Actually, I was gonna say play emerging dominance, but you don't have enough. You don't have enough. Which one calls it? Do it, but you could do like seismic stir and then crack the helm and then pass. Arsenal a card. Start the next turn with 6 cards and a seismic surge or seismic surge token. So yeah, I think what I'm saying is I think the helmet is good in any matchup.
Okay.
The question is, what is worse, cross straps or Goliath Gauntlet? What do we care less about? Plus to our big attacks, or making something cost less than 2? Make an attack cost less than 2, or cost 2 less.
I guess heart and cross straps.
That's the easiest one to replace, you think?
I think so.
Okay, so we do like Null Rune Robe. And then are we on Ironhide? Is that what we're doing? Ironhide chest? Or do we do Iron Rot chest?
Well, it would be it would feel bad to like pitch a blue.
For Ironhide?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, because you're not going to do anything else with that.
Right.
I don't think. Well, yeah, but you're still short of paying for the unmovable. So, yeah, I think you have a decent point there. Iron Rot plate? Are we doing it? Is it happening? Are we putting a piece of Iron Rot in something?
I guess so. It's in the one deck that we've always put off.
put off making?
Yeah, maybe this was why.
Yeah, we were scared of the Iron Rot. Alright, so then, that's 11 pieces of equipment. We have 3 Null Rune with the boots, robe, and lantern. For blocking, we can block 4 with the Rotten Old Buckler, Runaways, Iron Rot Plate, and the helmet. And then we keep Goliath Gauntlet so we can pump our attacks and do stupid things. Okay. Alright, that seems reasonable. I think this looks good. It's a little bit odd. I thought this was going to be a little bit easier, where we weren't going to have to be grasping for so many straws with attacks, but I think ultimately it ended up, or not attacks, but blue cards in general, like trying to fill that out.
I think it was just because all the decks we were trying to pull from was like mostly rares.
That's true. That's true. And I mean, I guess just to quickly compare, there's the Choke Slam, Crush for the Weak, Debilitate. Buckling Blow, and then everything else is like rares. Oh, and the unmovable, lest we forget, we have Zealous Belting, we have Pummel. This one unmovable. Man, that's so many cards we don't have access to. All of these. I mean, I think we did something pretty similar to them.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. Null Rune boots, gloves, hood, robe. Okay. They're oh man, is that Mage Master boots? That's hilarious. They
went for it.
They did.
Those mad lads.
This one just goes with the defensive boots. Yeah, this is a deck, and it's an old one, but this is a deck that has Rampart of the Ram's Head, the legendary shield, and Tectonic Plating, which is the chest piece that they have, and this Crater Fist and all that, Arcanic Skullcap helmet, and their boots that they use are Iron Rot legs or Null Rune boots.
Perfect.
That's the best boots that they could come up with in full budget.
It just makes me think of like a warrior or whatever, just like all decked out, and then he's got like straw boots.
That's some Achilles things right there. And over here we have Mage Master boots and Null Rune boots. He didn't like the Iron Rot.
They're just made of felt.
What do we have over here for boots? That's Mage Master boots. That's 2 Mage Master boots. Because reasons.
Why?
Mage Master boots. Probably a typo. That's so many Mage Master boots. What? Were we supposed to actually do Mage Master's boots? I was over here selling the Time Skippers, but Mage Masters was the real answer. They probably have more stuff like... Let's see, does Embolden have Go Again? Oh, it does. So is it really just for... What do they have that doesn't have Go Again that they're... Because this is one thing. Ah, okay. That might be why. Because I was going to say, like, it only gives you an action point for a non-attack. So you can't Mage Masters and do an attack for, like, Go Again. That's wild. That's hilarious. I think we don't need it as much because we just have, like, Emerging Dominance.
Right.
And I think everything else is either attacks or already has Go Again. So, yeah. Alright, yeah, no, I think that's pretty good. I think that's a solid Bravo deck. I'll have to do a Guardian Mirror match, put it up against Oldhim.
Oh boy.
I feel like Oldhim probably does have the advantage after having built this now, just because Bravo doesn't have as many attacks. Like, good attacks.
Also, he doesn't have access to Frost, kind of.
Yeah, Frostbite, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And those... And that's right, I kept looking at this, I was surprised, because almost all of these attacks need to hit 4 or more to do their effect. I'm like, when I built Oldhim, I remember there being more on-hit effects. They are all the Elemental and Ice and Earth ones that they...
Yep.
I will say, though, Bravo has a better hero ability, I think. Because you just pay 2 to give something Dominate. Oldhim's hero ability is pretty garbage. His are all defense reactions. And they don't do much if you build Ice.
You know, we didn't really take into account his hero ability in the when we were talking about costs.
We didn't. Although, on reflection, we did kind of cover our bases on that, because it costs 2.
True.
So it fits in all of those, like, 2 cost matters discussions.
I'm just thinking, do we actually want that yellow seismic surge?
Oh, to make, like, the 4 costs cost 2? And then... Oh, I see what you're going for there. Maybe. Although you're still, at that point then, you're still having to pitch 2 different things. Because you have to pay 4. So you're still getting, like, 6 cost at that point.
True.
So, I don't know, I think we're fine.
Okay.
Because you're still going to have to pitch 2 blues to pay for it. So, like, the only one it would make a difference is the 3 cost attacks. Where that would reduce them to 1. So you pitch 1 blue card and you go Bravo ability, whatever 3 cost attack. I don't know.
We'll
play with it, test it out, see what we think.
Test it out, see what we think, and then...
But there we go. For the viewers at home, here's something you could try too. I think if you do that, you'd probably drop either... I would say you'd probably drop either the blue Pummel or the blue Zealous Belting.
Not the blue Unmovable?
You could do Unmovable too. Yeah, if you want to go more aggressive. So you drop one of those 3, and you bring in yellow Seismic Stir. I don't think you're dropping any of the reds or anything. And then that still leaves you with 26 blue, which is a pretty high number. As it stands right now, mathematically speaking, you're going to have just under 3 blue cards in every 4 cards you draw. So seems pretty good. Seems what we were going for.
Yep.
You have the 1 red card to do a ton of damage, and then the rest are all blues. But yeah. So that's Bravo for Commoner. And our first Guardian that we actually did an episode on. So if you like the video, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe for more Bravo content.
Of course. Yeah. We'll see you later. And hopefully not Bravo.